Yeah. So to get back on the topic regarding to the Wulong, what
Mhm.
did you say about it? Did you like Wulong? So what was your opinion about it?
Okay, I will be very nice about it during this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I said it before during my streams as well. My relationship with Wu Long, like I said, not Wu Kong, Wu Long, this is another teenager game, which is, it was a love-hate relationship with that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the best way I had to describe it.
Well, yeah, kind of
I,
that's true.
I mean, it had really good aspects about itself and some not great aspects.
Yeah, like
Mm.
you couldn't cancel your animations. The enemy was attacking our screen. I know that was actually quite frustrating for for anybody, including myself.
Oh, even before all that, Zero, even before any of that, especially when we talk to our other buddies from the community, especially, because like the RNG
Mm-hmm.
for Wulong and stuff like that, before like, they start adding more loot drops. Remember that? You remember people felt
Yeah.
like, the drops, for Neo was a little too much. But there's a reason why you want to make sure there was enough of that. Because then you start making people start fighting a certain particular boss over and over and over again just to make sure you get enough stuff that you need, which was you have to fight this particular great ape over and over and over again in a side mission during
Yeah, I
a long
remember
game.
that.
I remember people said they did that stuff for hours, and
Yes.
sometimes they still wouldn't drop them what they needed.
Yeah, it was horrible. Yeah,
And
I did it as well myself, but not that much. Like, but yeah, that's kind of bad.
And that's what I mean. And I remember telling myself, I'm never, ever going to do that to myself just to get certain loot.
Mm.
And also, I think the biggest other gripe I had with Wulong was the refashion of Wulong was not that great
Yeah,
compared to Neo.
I
Eh,
mean, probably because it's a different culture. So it's a Chinese culture. The Chinese armors are quite different in comparison to Japanese. I mean, maybe that, you know.
I wish I could make that excuse. Then when you look at Wukong's armor set, it's like, see what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like, like, mm,
yeah,
that's
you're
a
right.
bit
You're right.
unfair.
Yeah, Wukong has amazing armors, and they look very nice. So yeah, you're right.
Like I said, that was a little bit unfair, but at the same time, I literally have to point that out though. At the same time, it's like, but you get what I mean. It's like a lot of the armor sets in Wulong just not great to work with. It's like I really went through the entire list of gear. And what made even worse too, some of the gears just look the same but just in a different color.
Hmm.
And which made
Yeah.
even more frustrating to work with. But okay, but if we're going to get back to talk about like the combat aspects of Teenage Game, which we're talking about Wulong now,
Hmm. Yeah.
we have to address the elephant in the room. And holy crap, especially when it was first released, came to Wulong,
Hmm.
the martial arts and everything else, because of Wulong, was not great, to put
I
it
agree.
nicely. It was,
Very bad.
especially like, don't forget, because before, you remember it had this whole idea like RNG about dropping certain martial arts.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, who thought that was a good idea?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Even though, later on people have to pay money, but at least people have money, or to pay for it. But it was like, it was just like insane to me when they thought of it as a good idea. It's like, yeah, now we got like, six martial arts we can choose from, which is like, I'm happy about it. But it's like, it would have been nice and gave more longevity, for people to do. Like I said, in the first playthrough of Wulong, I said, I think the biggest charm of Wulong was the boss fights. I think that's what brought people mostly in. I think it was the boss fight of itself was like the biggest appeal. I think, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. The bosses were actually super good, nicely done. I mean, what are your thoughts about the that morale mechanic or system? Do you like it? Or
Uh, no, to be honest, especially you get the idea during the first playthrough, but after you have to search for those flags and again and again and again and again on each new new game plus and stuff like that, that gets kind of redundant. And I'm glad that they patch it in so you don't have to do that anymore. But it's like the whole morale system or flag system, back then, just I think it gave us sort of a repetition, saying like you want to fight enemies, but it's like, oh, I have to look for this certain flag or get this thing done. It's like I I could say, you try to look for this one checkpoint so you don't have to go all the way back and stuff like that. But to look for certain smaller flags that you don't know where they are, because remember, those is one mission, this one water level that pissed you off too, which is like, and I remember I was able to find this one too. Is like, okay, finally, and that's the whole point because the whole flag system, just overall, it's like that whole thing that which takes you off, the whole, the combat aspects of Wulong and stuff like that. It just
yeah,
takes you away from it.
yeah, true. I mean, you're right. That's sad, but yeah, it's true. I mean, I like the Wulong. It was actually a nice game, but again, it had its own issues, so to say. I mean, I didn't like that lack of presence for canceling certain things, especially when you get in the middle of the martial arts. Like, I would like to get out of that fucking shit and do something because the fucking boss can attack me anytime.
Oh
It will just
yeah.
burst at any time or hyper
Once they
armor.
do the last.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now I know you're talking about. And they always did that. And that's the whole thing. And we talked about Volcano Wukong or certain other games, when you're committed animations. It's like when you're certain committed animation and you try to cancel out of that, which guess what? If other games or other action oriented games that allow you to do that, guess what? That's going to annoy the crap out of you. Unfortunately, it will do that. And
unfortunately.
when Mulan did that, and when Neo was allowed you to do that, it just felt like a disappointment for a lot of players, unfortunately.
Yes.
And like, oh, go ahead.
No, I was about to say yes, that's actually true, unfortunately. But again, from the other side, as you said, boss fights were actually super good, quite cool. I really enjoyed the second DLC, and when they introduced the six martial arts, and actually then they work slightly on the recovery times of the certain martial arts, and actually they made the game better. But however, in a third DLC, everything went downhill. I don't know reason why,
Oh yeah.
but
Hmm.
I mean, what are your thoughts on DLC 2 and then DLC 3? In just
Okay.
comparison wise.
Okay, I have to break it down from all the three DLCs. When we
Mm-hmm.
first like Dion Wei or Uju and all the rest of them, all the DLC bosses.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like the first two, even like the sub DLC boss, which is like you find Zhang Jiao all over again and stuff like that. I didn't feel like it was bad, but it's like, I felt like that could have been done better. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? If you went for a different boss fight, I think that would have been a better choice for everyone else, in my honest opinion. But like I said, Uju, I felt like it was a solid, boss fight. But I felt like the best boss fight I had to say was Dion Way from the first DLC. Even though that boss fight was tough as hell at first, but you felt like you learned something when you was fighting that boss fight. And like I said, it was difficult with that boss fight with Dion Way, but it felt like you was completely bullshitted. You know what I mean? His moves was
Yeah.
telegraphed. You knew what he was about to do, and it was insane. Only time you may feel like it may be an issue is like, if the frame rate was good enough. I think that's the other thing I will have to say. Especially how I was playing on the PS4 at the time. It was like the frame rate was not that great.
That's true.
Sometimes I had a hard time seeing what I need to do at times, but most of the time I was able to get stuff done, fighting them. But just overall, I still really enjoyed the boss fight. Then, like when we get to like the second DLC, which was when we fight Gan Ning, Jesus Christ, where do we start with him? Especially the amount of movesets
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
just like overall his theme music, I felt like I felt like his one is like was the best one. Look at like yeah, I felt like his theme music out the entire DLCs was actually one of the best ones. Because it's like there was like a feel to it. If you fought Ganning, you recognize his theme music coming. I mean, that's the kind of
I do, unfortunately.
aura about him. It's like I know how you felt about him, Zio. I know you did not like him.
And that was it was so frustrating. Like at some point, like, dude, fuck off, let me fucking land one attack. Do you have any opening, man? Can I attack, please? Like, dude, in hyper armor, god,
Oh
no,
yeah,
man.
especially on higher difficulties. Yes, like you really have to pick and choose when to fucking hit him. It's like you really have to pick and choose because he
Or
hurts.
perhaps maybe you just drop a freaking uh cube and then, oh, okay, I think I can hit it now. No, you can. I mean, like, was like, come on, man. But yeah, I mean, you're right. That's a it was like quite crazy. Like, I don't know. Insane, insane. But DLC 2 then that came, and the new weapon in DLC 2, my god, like I've been having a blast with DLC 2. Like that long sword, what was the name of the sword?
I think
Uh
it was just like a broadsword, I think,
yeah,
or I
bros,
just forgot
oh,
the
that
entire
was
name.
actually amazing. That you could actually dodge while charging the attack. That was something new for me. I mean, pretty cool. I mean, also the whole DLC and all the changes in a good direction was amazing. But again, I mean, like when the DLC 3 dropped, it was like so disappointing. Like we got a whip. Like, come the hell on. Like, you couldn't give me any other weapon. I mean, it's okay. Weapon is a weapon. It's fine. But again, there was so many recycled enemies from DLC 1 and 2. So many. Like, you barely could see any new enemy. I mean, the
Okay,
boss
we're gonna
fights
talk about
was. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, no, no. Like I said, if we're gonna talk about like the third DLC stuff like that, we have to address the elephant in the room, especially like that last boss fight, which was like Yuan Shu before the patches and all that shit. Like, ooh. Yeah, especially it was like a game of cat and mouse, stuff like that. You were the cat and you was chasing the mouse, which was Yuan Shu, just kept running away. Especially once you get his health like low enough, guess what? He starts running away. You have to chase after him that whole fucking time. I said, really? This is what we're doing with our boss fights?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so overall, when you just take a look on all three DLCs, which one did you like most? Second DLC or perhaps some first?
Oh, it was definitely like the second DLC because like the second DLC had like Ganning, Taishisa, and like the demon form of Taishisa, pulled that BS on you because he had like a second phase to him. It was like, really? Because you thought he was finished killing him. Guess what? There was like a second phase to him, which was, haha, surprise, you gotta fight the dude again. And he's even more
I
tougher
remember
before.
that. I remember that. I barely finished the first phase and then, oh, motherfucker, guess what? We have another phase to do.
And he was like even more fucking aggressive than he was before. It's like, holy shit, dude. It's like, but again, here's the thing. You know what the real sad part is? I'd rather fight him than fight Yuan Shu. That's the real sad fucking part. Because I felt like at least he was doing something. When it came to Yuan Shu, he's like, well, guess what? You're not chasing me fast enough. It's like, dude, this is not fun. And what came like the third DLC of Wulong, which was 1,000 miles, and 1,000 miles was, its way of the underworld, the abyss, the depths. Like I said, you know would have helped it, that whole situation, if there was more enemy variety. Because that enemy variety in Wulong suck so much. I mean, it was very limited in Wulong. Like you said, you remember when you brought up like how they just had like, different like power color variations of the same enemies that was already in the main game.
Yeah,
And guess what? You have to fight them and again, in the 1,000 miles. Like I said, that stuff can mentally burn someone out, dude. It's like,
I agree.
mm,
I mean, I wasn't enjoying that much Thousand Mile with all honest. Like it was kind of too grindy for me. I don't know. I mean, like too much grind for nothing. I mean, I just finished the 1,000 mile, but by finishing the 100 floors, and I said fuck this because I mean I don't see any point of going any further than this, you know. But again, I mean, they were experimenting with that game. They wanted to make games simplify. They wanted to simplify the game and then see if they can attract more people. But I don't think so. I think they should remain and focus on what they do best, and that's combat, and just keep up making the games as they are. And I think the people will appreciate that because
you're not
mostly the
wrong there, man.
people who stick with a game are usually the people who actually enjoy the combat most, and that's what actually keep you in the game. The graphics will not keep you in the game. I mean, the game can be the best, you know, the epically most beautiful game ever, but you will not play it again just for the sake of graphics. I mean, the graphics will not keep you in a game. So I think they should focus on actually doing what they do best and care less about you know, the other stuff. But again, from the other side, unfortunately, such is life. It's actually quite difficult outside when you want to get some sales and get some money from the game that you have done and all that work that you actually invest.
You're not
uh
wrong about that, because graphics do sell. That's the whole
yeah,
thing. It does.
unfortunately.
Because
Unfortunately.
because it has a lot of appeal. Because it just does. Because like, oh, because people want to see what's the next, the next gen could bring to offer. We know because of graphics. Which guess what? They're not wrong. They're not wrong from that aspect. Because like, even to this day, how I'm playing like games like Arkham Knight all this time. But then again, it's like I'm not just playing that game because the graphics alone. It's like I also play it because of the combat aspects of that game as well. Because like I have the best of both worlds because of that game just overall. But it's like the graphics, just make it more appealing too, just to give it more replayability and just everything else. Like when you have a game that has a good balance or between that, it works out overall. And I think what Teen Ninja would do best is like if they can find ways how to convince, their their publisher, give them more investments, to work a little bit more, just enough, to experiment. Not things that will mess up their combat aspects. They can still focus on that, but they can mess around, to see how they do mess around with, from a graphical standpoint, they could draw more audience in. I mean, that could still work out too in their favor to a degree, but at the same time, not just focus on that, because I think the most important thing is like making sure the performances of your games is the most important aspect more than anything else, because optimization is more important than more than anything else, because like if the game runs like crap, it don't matter how nice looking the game looks, it doesn't matter. It does not matter by any of it if it runs like crap. It just doesn't. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
unfortunately. I mean, there is the there is a lot of things that we could even say more about the Wulong, and then there is probably more topics that we would be nice to talk about. But could you believe that we are at 53 minutes just to get here that we speak about talk about Neo and Wulong? It was actually very nice. Thank you once again, and I guess people will like this and enjoy these discussions.
No, the pleasure was all mine because this was good.